My child, I saw the way you tried to smile through the ache. I heard the way your soul cried when your voice stayed silent. You thought no one noticed how hard it was just to keep standing, but I did. I was there in the quiet corners of your pain, in the places even you didn't know were still bleeding. I saw the hidden moments when your chest felt too heavy to carry, when the weight of one more day felt like too much. You didn't need to shout to be heard. Your pain echoed loudly in my spirit, and I moved toward you, not away. You wondered why I didn't remove the pain instantly. But child, listen, sometimes what wounds you also awakens you. Sometimes what breaks you is what brings you closer to me. And when you cried for me in that darkness, even when you felt abandoned, I wrapped myself around your soul. I never left, not for 1 second. I didn't turn away when the tears stained your pillow. I didn't recoil when your faith trembled. I didn't wait for you to be strong again. I loved you even in the shattering. You are not a burden in your brokenness. You are not lost just because you are tired. You are not forsaken because you felt despair. These are not signs of failure. They are cries from the deep, and I respond to every single one. The world told you to be strong, to move on, to get over it, but I never asked that of you. I asked you to bring it to me, to let me carry what you were never meant to bear alone. The pain that you buried so others wouldn't worry. I saw it. The ache you felt at night when everyone else was asleep. I held it. The questions you whispered when you thought no one was listening, I heard them all. I know how it feels to be wounded, to be rejected, to be betrayed by the ones you loved. I, too, wept. I, too, felt the crushing weight of sorrow. That is why I understand you more deeply than you can imagine. You are not weak. You are healing. You are learning how to breathe again, after drowning in silence. And I am here still, steady, unshaken. I am your anchor when your soul drifts in sorrow. Let me speak peace over the storm inside you. Let me remind you that pain is not the end of your story. It is the middle, and I am the author, and I always finish what I begin. Your wounds are not wasted. They are sacred ground where I am planting something eternal. Where the world sees scars, I see stories of survival, of redemption, of beauty, that emerge from ashes. So cry if you need to. There is no shame in the tears. I collect each one, not one falls without me knowing. You are seen, you are known, you are held. And when your voice couldn't form the words, when all you could say was help, even that reached heaven, even that was enough. You don't have to pretend with me, you don't have to perform. I'm not impressed by masks. I'm moved by honesty. Even broken honesty, that there is a softness in your pain that I hold with holy hands. I do not rush your healing. I walk with you, at your pace, every day, until the light returns. I will not leave you in the valley, but I will stay there with you until you're strong enough to climb again. You've been trying to survive on your own, but you were never created to walk alone. Let me be your comfort. Let me be the breath between your sobs. Let me be the stillness in the chaos. I never grow tired of comforting you. I never roll my eyes when you come back with the same ache. I never tell you it's too late. I simply open my arms again and again and again. You are not disqualified by your sorrow. You are not forgotten because of your doubts. You are not dismissed because of your pain. You are invited into my rest, into my healing, into my presence. I see how hard you've tried to be strong for everyone else. But now, let me be strong for you. Lay down the weight. Let the tears fall. Let the healing begin without pressure, without fear, without rushing. I know you've been told you have to earn peace, but my peace is a gift. It's not a reward. It's not a reward. It's a promise, and I keep every promise I make. The pain does not define you. The sorrow does not have the final word. I do, and I say you are loved. You are worth healing. You are mine. The night may still feel long, but morning is coming. And even now, in the shadows, I am holding you close. The pain will not last forever, but my presence will. I am not going anywhere. Even if you fall again, even if the tears return, even if you question everything, I will still be here. I'm not too broken for me. You are not too far. You are not too much. You are exactly the one I came for, the one I bled for, the one I rose for. Let me remind you who you are beyond the pain. You are my child. You are my joy. You are the one I've been waiting to comfort. When the world turns away, I turn toward you. When others forget, I remember. When no one sees your wounds, I wash them myself. Let me whisper over your life again. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. You are wrapped in grace, covered in mercy, surrounded by my love. Let the healing begin. Here, in this quiet moment, where nothing is demanded of you but to receive, I am with you, and I will not let go. I am still here, even now. Even after the nights when you tried to silence your cry just to feel strong again. Even after the days when you wondered if healing was even possible for someone like you. My child, you were never too far gone. Not for me, never for me. You see brokenness, but I see a heart that has survived what others didn't even notice. You see weakness, but I see a soul that kept breathing even when it felt like drowning. You see delay, but I see the exact timing that allows transformation to take root beneath the surface. There are things I'm doing in the silence that you can't yet see. Healing doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it rests before it rises. Sometimes it rebuilds in the invisible before it manifests in the visible. You asked me why the pain lingered. You thought I had gone quiet, because I stopped caring. But I have been closer than your own breath, working in places no one else can reach, you see. When the pain pierces deep, it exposes things that surface-level peace could never reveal. And though it hurts, I use even that to call you deeper. Not into suffering, but into communion. That you weren't made to carry what has crushed you. You weren't designed to live without comfort. You were created to walk with me, to rest in me, to allow me to hold your hand when you are too weary to stand on your own. Don't so let me speak to the tired places, to the parts of you that have been screaming silently. Let me speak to the disappointments that took your breath away. Let me breathe life again into the dreams you buried in fear. I never stopped seeing you, not once. Even in the shadows of your own mind I was there, speaking softly, waiting for you to realize that I never gave up, and I still haven't. You do not have to be perfect to be healed. You do not have to understand everything to be restored. You do not need to have it all figured out to be loved. You only need to come as you are, and stay long enough to feel me there. I will meet you in the middle of your sorrow, not to tell you to hurry, not to judge the weight you've been carrying, but to say, I see you, I feel it too, and I am here. Some of your deepest wounds have been invisible to others, the kind that don't bleed outward but silently fracture the heart. And those are the ones I tend to with the greatest care, with gentleness, with patience, with reverence. I am not in a rush. I do not demand performance. I only want your honesty, and you've already begun. That tear was a prayer. That sigh was a confession. That moment you whispered, God, please, I caught it. I answered it. Your pain is not wasted. Even what you regret, even what you wish you could undo, I can redeem it, all of it. There is no history to tangled, no shame to deep, no sorrow to sharp that I cannot enter in and bring peace. You are still mine, even after the breakdowns, even after the doubts, even after the anger you felt toward me. You didn't push me away. You called me closer, because honesty is not rebellion, it's relationship. And I honor those who come to me broken, raw, real. Let the healing continue, not on your own strength, but by my spirit. You don't have to understand how it's happening. You only have to stay close enough to feel the warmth again. Remember, child, you were never forgotten. Even in the wilderness of confusion, even in the pit of despair, I have carved your name into eternity. You are not passing through my memory. You are my memory. You are my beloved, and I'm not ashamed to call you mine. The same hands that created the stars are the hands holding your breaking heart. The same voice that calms the seas is whispering peace to your trembling soul. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing something. You are in process, and I'm not afraid of your process. Let me build something eternal in the ruins. Let me show you that ashes can become beauty. Let me walk you through the long nights, until joy begins to rise again. Not the kind the world offers, but the kind that holds even when the storm returns. You don't need to escape the pain to find me. You need only invite me into it. And here I am, speaking life over you again, breathing hope into the places that grew silent, rewriting the narrative the enemy tried to brand into your soul. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not forsaken. You are mine. You have always been mine, and I will never let go. Do you feel that, child? That gentle warmth returning? That stillness that begins to settle over the ache? That's me. That's my healing taking root beneath the ashes. You've walked through fire and you didn't burn alone. I was the one shielding you when no one else saw. And now, from those scorched places, something sacred is rising. Restoration does not mean returning to who you once were. It means becoming who you were always meant to be, not despite the pain, but shaped by it. Not weakened by the sorrow, but deepened, softened, refined. What once crushed you will become the very testimony that carries others into freedom. Your tears have watered the ground for others to rise. The same hand that lifted you will lift them through your words, your presence, your healing life. You never knew the power hidden inside your suffering, but I did. That's why I stayed. That's why I whispered even when you couldn't respond. Because I knew when you came through this, your very breath would be a ministry, not with loud sermons, not with perfect answers, but with compassion that cannot be faked, with eyes that recognize silent pain, with arms that know how to hold someone without fixing, just like I held you. Your pain is being redeemed into purpose, not the kind that exhausts you, but the kind that fulfills you in secret ways. Purpose that feels like peace. Purpose that feels like rest. Purpose that flows from overflow, not from pressure. You once asked me why you had to suffer like this, and I did not answer with words, I answered with presence. Because some pain is too deep for explanations. But I promise you now, it will not be wasted. Your journey will become someone else's lifeline. Not because you're perfect, but because you remember. You remember what it feels like to be forgotten, to cry and wonder if God hears, to wish someone would just sit beside you and not leave. Now you will be that someone, not through effort, but through being, through living, through carrying the fragrance of my mercy into every space you walk into. You will carry my light, not as someone untouched by pain, but as someone transformed by mercy. You will glow, not with pride, but with the humility of one who knows what it means to be held in the dark. I am rebuilding you, not into who you were before the storm, but into one who has walked through fire and come out refined, radiant, ready to love deeper than you ever thought possible. You will speak healing without even trying. You will weep with those who weep, and your tears will feel like oil. You will walk into rooms and shift atmospheres, not because you are loud, but because my presence will follow your surrender. There is power in your scars. They tell a story not of defeat, but of survival, not of shame, but of grace, and you will carry this grace like a vessel, poured out again and again, but never empty, because I will keep filling you. You thought this season would end you, but it births something unshakable in you, faith that cannot be stolen, love that reaches further, hope that refuses to die. What the enemy meant for your destruction, I have turned into a door, and through it, others will walk out of their prisons too. You will recognize the ones I send you, not by their words, but by their silence, by the quiet grief behind their eyes, by the weight they carry in secret. And you will not panic. You will not run. You will remember, and in that remembrance you will offer what you received: presence, compassion, peace. You don't need to be everything for them. You only need to be what I've made you to be: a resting place, a light in the hallway, a voice that doesn't demand, but invites, a heart that listens, because it knows what it means to not be heard. Child, I didn't just heal you for your sake, I healed you for theirs too. Because I knew when you came through this, you would no longer walk for yourself, alone. You would walk for others still crawling. You would love for others who forgot they were worthy. You would see for others still blinded by pain. And all of it, every silent night, every lonely tear, every shattered dream will shine like a lantern in the hands of grace. You were never broken beyond use. You were being prepared, not punished. Prepared. And now, you are stepping into what I knew all along, that through your story, others would believe healing is possible again, that through your life they would taste my compassion, that through your restoration, hope would be born in places long abandoned. You carry something now, not just survival, but resurrection, and resurrection changes everything. The pain does not get the final word, purpose does. You've walked a path no one else saw. You've cried prayers that had no words, and yet they moved heaven. You've loved me even when your heart was breaking, and I have never forgotten that. Now you are beginning to understand. The pain wasn't the end, it was a doorway. Not to suffering, but to calling, because from your silence a voice has been rising. Not a loud one, not one that demands attention, but a sacred one, full of wisdom, tenderness, and authority born in the fire. This is the kind of voice that cannot be faked. It is the voice of one who has been with me in the dark. It is the kind of voice that makes the enemy tremble, because it carries the sound of deliverance that you now carry more than healing. You carry the holy weight of my compassion. You carry my spirit in places where others are still breaking, and they will feel it. They won't always know how or why, but your presence will bring rest. Your peace will speak louder than arguments. Your scars will say, you are not alone. You are not forgotten. You too can live again. What once nearly drowned you has become the very water that refreshes others. What once made you hide has become a light that gently draws others out of their own shadows. What once crushed you has now become the ground where empathy blooms. This is not weakness. This is resurrection. This is glory, wrapped in humility. And I am pleased. Yes, child, I am pleased with you. Not because you've been perfect, but because you let me in. You didn't run from your pain, you let me meet you in it. And now, I am sending you not as a warrior of pride, but as a carrier of healing. You will walk softly, but carry power. You will speak gently, but with weight that shakes foundations. You will not boast in strength, but your surrender will break chains. Because people trust what is real, and you are real. You are what happens when a soul is loved back to life. You are what redemption looks like. You are what hope sounds like when it whispers in the dark. You are my message to the broken, not written in ink, but in the way you walk, in the way you hold others, in the way you love without needing to be noticed. This is your calling, not to impress, but to love deeply. Not to prove yourself, but to reflect my heart. Not to speak over the pain, but to speak into it. As someone who knows what it's like to bleed unseen, you will go places others fear to enter. Not because you are fearless, but because you know who goes with you. You will comfort in ways no one taught you because you remember what it's like to feel forgotten. You will carry my name not in performance, but in the quiet holiness of your presence. And when people ask, how did you survive that? You will not point to yourself, you will point to me. You will say, I was held when no one saw me, when no one understood me, when even I doubted myself, he held me. And they will believe again, not in you, but in me, because your life will become the evidence of grace, a living letter of mercy, a walking testimony that healing is real, that redemption is possible, that God never leaves. And when you are tired again, because yes, there will still be days, I will still be the same, I will still hold you. You are never too far into your calling to stop needing me. In fact, it is in your need that my strength shines brightest. So rest now. You've come far, not by striving, but by surrender. You didn't lose the war, you learned to let me fight it for you. You are not the same person who entered the storm. You have been changed by holy fire. You are softer, stronger, deeper, wiser, and I will send you, again and again, as my voice to those still bleeding in silence. But I will never send you alone. The healing that began in secret will continue through your life. A river of mercy flowing to the thirsty. And when it's quiet again, when the noise fades, when the crowd leaves, you will still hear me say, I love you, I see you, I am proud of you, and I'm not going anywhere. You are safe, you are whole, you are mine. And that is forever.